What's up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. We've got the old BBB behind me warming up, and I'm about to commit a cardinal sin today. Well, at least in my eyes. And that is, I'm bringing the Denali to work today. Mainly because my Ford isn't ready yet from Preston, so it's kind of all we got to work with.
I should just borrow Chris's truck over there and not tell him. That way we don't risk getting my truck dirty.
Especially considering today's a concrete pour day, which is like the dirtiest of days. But whatever, I brought a spare change of clothes. I've got some plastic to go on the seat, so hopefully we don't ruin the truck today. So I know it's been a while since I have filmed any like construction projects that we are doing, and there's a couple of reasons why. One of which being we don't have any really cool jobs going, and I understand some of you guys like to see some of the stuff that we film, but you know, when we're doing like a drywall flood repair or something like that, it's not that interesting of content. And trying to film it and trying to get it done on small projects like that, there's not a lot of money in those projects. So you kind of need to get in and get out, and to try and film it while we're doing it, it ends up taking way too much time. I don't think people realize really how much time goes into having to move the camera around, move this piece of lumber, move the camera around, cut the piece of lumber, move the camera around, install the piece of lumber. It just adds a ton of time. I mean, you're talking triple or quadruple the time of what it would normally take to get something done. Then on top of that, you know, trying to put out 5 YouTube videos a week for you guys takes a lot of time, as well as like all the work for it apparel stuff. And trust me, that is not me complaining. I definitely chose what I'm doing for a reason, and with that has actually allowed us to kind of cherry pick the jobs that we want. So we're taking a lot less of the like zero money, you know, just do them because you need work jobs, and we're kind of holding out for jobs that A, the money makes sense, or B, they're a cool project, because you guys know we like doing really cool projects. So for those of you wondering, yes, construction is still going on, but now it's kind of like a divide and conquer kind of thing, where I have to split my time between 5 videos a week, work for it apparel, and construction. And you guys know I'm very hands-on with everything that I do. I don't like to just make something and hand it over to somebody and be like, all right, you take control of that. You know, I wish at some point I can get to where I can do that, but for right now, it requires me to be at all 3 of those things. So you can see why with like some of the construction things, I just have to get in, get the work done, get out, and then usually head to the warehouse and film a video or something like that. And truth be told, the construction videos don't really do that well on the channel. And I can assure you guys, life was much easier before the YouTube channel, before Work For It Apparel, when I was just doing construction full time, and that was it, you know, go in, do my work, come home, get some bids out, and then kind of go to bed and repeat the next day. Now that we've added so many other elements, I mean, if we just took construction completely out of the picture right now, I'd still be working 10 times harder than I was when it was just construction. But that's what it takes. I tell you guys all the time, I'm a practice what you preach kind of guy. You have to have multiple income streams. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. It's just too risky of a gamble. So to me, you know what? I'm gonna do 3 things, and I'm looking for a 4th thing. Let's just keep going.
What up, Richie Rich?
You ready? You ready?
Always ready, dog. Always ready, dog. What's up?
How you been?
So today what you can see we have going on here is obviously we've got a concrete patio pour. And the reason I wanted to bring you guys to this one is to show you guys a couple different techniques that we use in terms of different styles of concrete, or basically different looks that you can go for. So what we've got going on here is this patio is essentially going to be saltillo tile, which is like that red Mexican tile that you guys probably see. It was quite common back in like the 90s, and this customer wants the entire backyard to be all saltillo tile. Well, obviously you need something to put that on, so we're pouring
Some concrete base, which is going to be just rough finished concrete set. You'll see here this blue line. We're going to set it about 1 inch down from the concrete that's here.
Now the reason I wanted to show you this technique is this is how you would typically do like a 2-color styled concrete patio. Whereas we come in and we do these bands of a different color, which all the bands right now you can see are all protected with paper because we're going to be pouring concrete next to them, and these are colored, so obviously you don't want to splash any concrete on it. So you come in and you pour the bands first. So just kind of use your imagination on the amount of form work that goes into form the bands. We've done some, like this one's not too crazy, but we've done some that are super intricate diamond band patterns that are absolutely crazy and take a ton of form work to get them done. So anyways, we come in, we set all the forms, we pour the bands, which like I said are already poured. Then we're gonna come in, once that has cured, we come in and we tie all the rebar for the center sections. So today what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be pouring all of the infill. And like I said, this is a rough finish because this is just the base layer of concrete that the tile is gonna go on top of. So we're gonna hold it down about 1 inch from the top of these bands
That way, by the time you put the tile on, it flushes out with the band.
And I have to say, it's days like this and projects like this with the killer view like there is behind me that make me really appreciate that I do not work a desk job. I love it. I love coming out to things like this, guys. I mean,
look at that view. You can literally see to the sand of the beach right down there. So Abel's going through right now. He's making all the rods that are pre-made. So you can see he's cut a 1-inch notch in there. That way all we got to do is screed it across the top of this and it'll keep everything 1 inch down. Papi!
Hey!
¿Qué pasó, papi?
Aquí 6'6".
Aquí 6'6".
Sí.
¿Qué dice con tus compadres?
Oh, no, pues están mucho trabajo y más dinero para la cerveza, para las chicas.
Y carros. ¿Cuántos carros se tienen? ¿Cuántos troques?
2 troques, Escalade, un Cougar, especial para chicas.
Get it, Chava! Get it, Chava! Yeah.
So one other thing you'll notice is there's drains positioned in the centers of each one of these infills here.
So not only do you have to rod it an inch down to account for the tile, but you also have to rod it to where you slope it to each one of these drains. And if you look over here, you'll see the drains are kind of offset. These two are in a row, and then that middle one's offset. You don't want to put a bunch of drains in a row, and you also don't want to drop them too much, because if you ever put patio furniture or chairs out here, they're gonna rock. So one thing a lot of people don't take into consideration is the fact that you want your fall to be just enough to get the water out, but not too much to where, you know, by the time you have 4 corners all pitching to this one drain in the middle here, you're gonna start to create a weird rocking situation. So the reason we have such skilled finishers is the fact that we can go for the minimalist amount of fall to not end up with that rock issue, but still get the water out and not leave what we call bird baths, which are basically pools where the water is gonna sit. Now obviously this is getting tiled. It's not getting tiled by us, it's getting tiled by another company. So this is a little bit different of a situation, but we are the base layer. So basically anything we do, it's gonna be reflected in the final layer, which would be the tile. So you always wanna make sure you take care of the next guy. All right, so we just got started pumping. For some reason, Richie's turning the pump on and off on us. I know the last time he was out here, he was running into some interference issues with his remote for the pump. So hopefully that's not happening today, because it's becoming a little troublesome back there. Oh, there we go, we're pumping again. Richie's that piece of junk working?
What's up, man?
Not working, huh? I see you turning it on and off.
Hardly working, man.
Come on, right there. Give me the hose. You run the control.
Connection.
You run the control. Thank you, Rick. Thank you.
So we've got truck 1 done. Truck 2 just pulled up a minute ago. Starting to pump him out right now. Apparently the concrete trucks have been playing musical cars off the neighbors' cars over here, because apparently it's too tight for them to squeeze their trucks through. So you can see the supervisor's truck back there in front of that concrete truck. He just pulled up because now obviously they got to make an incident report. Now you guys are probably saying, well, why do you guys use Cemex? Well, Cemex used to be Vulcan, and the reason we use Vulcan is because we've had nothing but top-notch quality in the concrete itself. We've never failed an inspection, and we've never failed a strength test. So for that, if something works, you keep using it. And the other good thing about Vulcan, which is now obviously Cemex, is when something goes wrong, I mean, that guy hit the car like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. When something goes wrong, they send somebody out right away. We've had a truck where the hydraulic lines exploded in the street. Now obviously that's a huge fine, that's a huge ordeal, especially right here, because we do a lot of jobs over by the water, and you don't want that happening. Within 10 minutes, Vulcan had 2 street sweepers out, 3 trucks and they completely made that street spotless. They don't mess around with that kind of stuff. So, you know, you pay a little bit extra for the mud, but to me, the service makes it worth it. So it turns out we had 2 concrete trucks hit 2 different vehicles when they were trying to squeeze down the road here, which is a weirdly wide road. So this truck right here nosed in to Abel's F-150 over there, and then the truck that's down the hill over there hit this station wagon, which is the homeowner's station wagon that she has had and inherited from her mom, and it's her favorite vehicle, and it is in pretty dang pristine condition. So here's the damage on the station wagon. You can see he kind of turned his wheel right into it. You can see the rubber on the paneling right there, which, you know, I don't know if you can exactly find this weird vinyl wood paneling to replace this, but they're gonna have to get this fixed for the homeowner. Like I said, this was her mom's car. She loves this car. And this is definitely not what you want to deal with when you're in the middle of a concrete pour, is to have to come out and deal with incompetent drivers that couldn't squeeze by. The smartest driver is the one that's hanging out down there. He seems to understand there's no need for 2 trucks to be up in this cul-de-sac up here. Wait till 1 truck pulls out, then you back the other truck in. The 2 drivers that hit are trying to kind of play like, well, the pumper was rushing us. It's not our fault. I don't even think we hit the cars, but nobody's buying that around here. So Cemex is going to step up. They're making incident reports right now. So we're still dealing with connection issues on Richie's remote here. So I'm playing remote operator down the side of the house while Richie's pumping now. It's just one of those days.
Truck number 2 is done. Let's make sure he gets out of here clear when there's plenty of freaking room.
So they're pumping out the last truck over there. All of this is already finished. Typically you would see on finished concrete, we would have the guys out here on their knee boards. They'd be hand troweling it, and they'd come back and broom it or sand finish it depending on the finish. You can see Steve over there just troweling everything just off the poles, because like I said, it's getting tiled over it. That doesn't mean we leave it crappy. You know, just because it's getting tile over top of it doesn't mean you screw over the next guy. We got to make sure it is still laid down pretty nice, and then at this point we're done. So all this over here is already dead, as we would call it, and we're pretty much working our way out to the street over there.
Is that what it said? What was the word?
So we ended up about 2 yards short on our 3rd truck here. Now the mud's been sitting in Richie's pump for quite a long time with all the delays with the trucks hitting each other out there. So he's gonna end up cleaning out his pump right now, which, if you guys haven't seen that process, basically what he does is he puts a hook into the back of the concrete truck, and from there he's gonna pump all the mud that's left in his hopper as well as water, and he's gonna cycle through that a couple of times, and then it's all gonna go into the back of the concrete truck, and then they'll take that to the yard, and then they end up dumping that back at the yard.
How many freaking things do you need on your mirrors, bro?
Oh, you saw it?
Jeez.
You want to hear our other sounds now?
Oh, okay, what do we got? We cut the muffler off it?
Yeah.
Straight piped it? Nice. Well, here, I think you ought to go to the Cemex yard and sell them all the all those blind spot. Yeah, they need those blind spot things on their trucks.
You gotta watch out for the motorcycle, man.
All right, I respect that.
I'm a rider too, so you know, gotta watch out for them.
What do we got, Richie? Honda Rebel 250? What are we riding?
300.
Oh yeah?
I was just getting Harley.
The houses out in this area are just so badass. I mean, we've done a bunch down in the valley over here. We've done quite a few up on the hill, and some of these things are just super modern monsters. Got a brand new one going up over here. It's got an underground garage in it. I don't know exactly what they're building over there. It's all houses right here, so I'm assuming that's a house. And you know, when you're pulling out the tower crane to build your house, you've got a monster of a house. So it's our last truck here. It's what you call cleanups, when you run a little bit short and you need to bring a truck with, I think we got 1.5 yards in that truck. Sometimes it calcs out perfectly to working out towards a full truck, but fortunately this time we ended up 1.5 yards short.
Easy, Cholo. Oh, come on, dude. What do you need a knife that big for? Jeez.
For his apples.
Right? Hey, Richie, how'd you get into concrete pumping? Why do you do it?
Because my dad was like, Dad, I want a skateboard. Okay, let's go to work, man. So I saved up my money and started working from there.
So was your dad a concrete pumper?
He was a concrete guy.
There you go. And you didn't want to be on your knees all day? You said, screw it, I'm buying a pump?
I could be on my knees.
So you can see just how short we were there. It's not that much concrete, and sometimes depending on how much hose you have out,
you can actually put some water in the hopper and push out what's left in the hose, and that way it'll kind of fill in the remaining that you need. But unfortunately, we didn't have enough hose out on this job, so we had to call a second truck for that little bit. Now, since Richie cleaned out his pump, that means we now need to reprime it now that the new truck is here. So basically what that entails is he fills the hopper with water, and then the truck is going to start to dump concrete into the hopper as well. And he's going to turn the pump on right as the concrete hits there, and it's going to push the water through the hose first, which essentially lubricates the hose to get the concrete all the way through it. So right now there is water in the hopper. The pump is firing up, increasing the RPMs. We're gonna have mud coming out of the chute here in a second. Here comes the mud. Richie's gonna start pumping. And then obviously the water has to go somewhere. We don't have anywhere to dump it right now, so the water's gonna end up in this wheelbarrow. Well guys, here it is, all completed. As the helicopter flies behind me and probably ruins this shot. It was, I mean, it wasn't the roughest of days, but having the two trucks hit two vehicles out there was a pain in the butt. The pump not working properly with the remote, something weird with the signals going on over here became a little bit of a hassle, but you know, like anything, you push through, especially with concrete. Concrete doesn't wait for anybody. You just got to keep going and you got to make it work. So that's what we did, but you know, it turned out beautiful. It's ready for tile here in the next couple of days. We'll come in and strip all of the paper that we have protecting the band, which just so you guys can see what color this is. This is the concrete underneath it. It is all a nice red to blend in with the red tile. Now I'm gonna go get cleaned up, get my truck out of here before this last truck drives out to make sure I'm safe and no other vehicles get hit. I guess the other two guys went back, had to get drug tested and all that, and it just becomes, it's a big mess. Anytime something little happens like that on a job site, it becomes big. But you know, like I said, what are you gonna do? Everything's getting handled, and let's just keep on moving. So with that, guys, we're gonna wrap up this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you have not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now, that way you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like, aka a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforitapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, like one of these sweet work shirts, you gotta be willing to work for it. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed another work video. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but you can just see, like today, it just gets hectic and it's really hard to film and actually be somewhat productive, but I'll do my best for you guys. Catch you in the next video.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.